What up, guys? Welcome back to another vlog video. I'm gonna alternate here while I'm gone on vacation because frankly I've got to record 3 videos a day for like 2 days to make this happen, and so I'm really burnt out from games, so I'm just trying to jump into a little, a little different flavor, a little different scoop of ice cream, if you will. So today I want to talk to you guys about what would happen if I hit 1 million or 10 million subs, or essentially reached all my goals. And this is gonna be some serious storytelling, so I actually want to go all the way back to when I first decided I wanted to become an environmental engineer. And this is kind of what inspired everything in my life and inspired really who I am today. Also, I don't know why I have headphones on, I'm not even playing music, but it was probably 2013. I was in the Boy Scouts and I took this trip to the Dominican Republic, and this was like my first time leaving the country, and so I was pretty young, kind of nervous. But basically we went there to build a house for people that had nothing, and we went to this village in the middle of the jungle where there were tarantulas and there were people that lived in cardboard boxes and didn't have houses. It was probably one of the most humbling, life-changing experiences of my life, which ultimately led me to this point here today. But when I was there, I saw a lot of things that were crazy, a lot of things that I look back on and they were pivotal moments in my life, like things that I saw that I couldn't even believe were real. Because I live in America, I live where you see a girl who cries because her ice cream was the wrong flavor, or you see a kid cry because his parents didn't get him the right game for Christmas, and that's normal. Or you see fat people everywhere, you see people that have so much food, and it's just normal. Like, if you're not fat, it's almost like uncommon in some places. It's crazy. And we just have everything we could need it here in a lot of these countries. Pretty much everyone watching, you probably have a lot of stuff. And so I'm in this area where they have nothing. And the kids, I remember these like 3 or 4 year old kids, one of them was named Nestale, and this kid touched my heart in such a way because he loved me and I spoke a little Spanish. Like, honestly, it was incredible. He had this string, literally a string, and he would just run around with a string and just wave it in the sky and have so much fun with that string. And he was like just loving it. It was like a freaking Xbox to him. I gave him a little thing of marbles, like a box of marbles, and he started crying. He was so happy, and he probably played with those for like 9 hours a day. Like, that's all he did, play with marbles. I don't even know how he knew how to play marbles, but this 3-year-old kid was pulling it out, and he's just like calculating the distances, and he's like, yep, that's it, flicking it. And I'm like, I don't even know marbles. You're 3 years old. Kid's hustling on marbles. He's super good, and it was incredible. And like, I remember I came back the next week on the airplane, and I actually saw a girl cry because her mom didn't buy her Chick-fil-A. And I was like, I just saw a kid whose month was made because I got him marbles, and there's a little girl crying in America because she didn't get Chick-fil-A. And it just made me realize how spoiled we are and ungrateful. Of all the crazy stories we had, which I could share them with you, I probably will. The one, I'll save the craziest one for after this, because the moment that changed my life was when I realized that the water there was so dirty, they weren't even able to drink it. Like, the rivers near them were so dirty, just standing in it was enough to make Americans sick. Like death, like it could kill you by standing in water. They didn't have clean water. Their water was literally muddy, a lot of it that they drank. It was disgusting. And I couldn't believe it. I remember we would have dinner and they were told, don't eat anything they give you. They're going to make you food because you're building them a house. They want you to be fed. Don't eat it because it will probably kill you. You can't handle all the diseases and bacteria and microbes that are inside this water. And so that happened, and I basically came back and I was like, my life was changed. I was like, I can't believe people live like this. Millions and millions of people live like this. And so I decided that day when I was 13, 14 years old or whatever it was, I'm going to dedicate my life to giving the world clean water. And so that propelled me down a path of environmental engineering, because I knew with an engineering background, I would have the respect and the power to be able to actually make these changes. I became an engineer, I graduated, got my degree, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done because I didn't know I was smart enough. My family, my mom's crazy. She's legitimately crazy, suing me right now. She's a nurse. She was the first one really that went to college, and my dad didn't go to college. So like, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. An engineer is really hard. And my senior year came around after almost failing many times in my classes. I actually failed statics my freshman year. I was told by my advisor my sophomore year, actually, she told me, engineers don't get GPAs like this. Engineers don't fail these classes. You will never be an engineer. And she looked at me and said, it's time to change majors. And I went back, and I remember, like, honestly, I don't cry so much that night. And I was like, she's right. My dream's gone. I will never be able to give these people clean water. It was one of the hardest moments in my life. I had to decide, like, what do I really want? Am I going to listen to her? Am I going to let her tell me what I can do? He was right. My GPA was horrible. I was failing classes. I had many D's. I had F's. I was in no place to even think I could do it. All my friends were flying by Calc 2, Calc 3, Calc 4, fluid mechanics, hydromechanics, thermodynamics, and I could barely pass physics. And it blew my mind away that I thought I could do this. And so I was losing faith. And then I remembered that moment. I remembered this kid, Nastale, who literally said, I hope you come back and help us. And I remember the girl, Yari, it's hard to say. She was like, I hope you come back again. And I was like, I need to be able to do this one day. And so I don't know what happened, but I mustered up something in me. And I went from a 1.9 GPA, keeping above 3.0 the rest of my college career. I never dipped again. Because that first year, my GPA was so low, I actually didn't even get a job. And so I had to take more debt. I had to take more classes to catch up. I was always behind my classmates. I was getting the worst jobs because I had a horrible GPA, and that's all they can base it off of. So everything in the world was telling me, you can't do this. And then suddenly started to come together. Suddenly my GPA was now in the top 10% of my class. Suddenly other kids were failing and I was helping them. Suddenly my whole world was changing. I still don't really know what happened. I got a job at a great company, and now I work at a Fortune 50 company as an engineer. But my Capstone came around, and if you guys don't know, Capstone is, this massive project you study all 5 years for. And so my Capstone project was creating an electrodialysis desalination plant, solar powered. So essentially what it did is it used sun energy to purify water by removing salts, because it's being used in Colombia, where coca is really popular, and it grows on salty water. So they grow it because it's like all they can grow. Their water's salty. They're surrounded by sea. All their inland water is salt water. And so if we can create a solar-powered cheap device that removes the salt, now they have fresh water and they can grow other crops. They don't have to grow things that make cocaine. And so it's crazy. And we did it, and it worked. And the president of Colombia partnered with us to use that throughout Colombia. The president of Colombia partnered with us. We spent an entire year designing this with so many people, experts, doctors, all kinds of people. And it came out great, and we had 98% removal of salts within 2 hours of our testing module. And that was the moment where I was literally like, this is happening. Like, this is my dream. I remember presenting on stage, and it gets so emotional. I have a picture of me presenting on Instagram, but it was like something that I'd worked so hard for, and I had no chance. I had no business being there. I had people tell me I would fail. I didn't believe in myself. I went through so much, and I look back and I'm so proud. The reason I tell you guys this story is because that's still my dream. It's still my mission. And even though I'm a YouTuber, and even though I want to quit being an engineer one day, my ultimate goal is to be able to make a foundation or a charity or something to help these people like I said I would in 2013. I feel like your life isn't really complete until you give back. I've learned very quickly that money doesn't really buy happiness, and it's the most cliche thing ever. I'm not even making that much money, but I'm making enough through an engineering degree. Oh, I got this cool shirt. Well, now I want a new car. Oh, I got a car. I want a better apartment. Oh, better apartment. I want a boat. You'll never stop wanting things. And my goal in life has been to figure out happiness and what makes people happy, and the psychology of just dying. This sounds morbid. Dying happy. I want to be happy when I die. I want to feel like I live my life to my fullest. To people that need it is what really makes you feel happy. And it's you can give money, you can give time, but what I really want to give, and what my goal is to be able to give these people water. There's a lot of places, a lot of foundations that do it now, and I think it's one of the greatest things you can do. It's just crazy. Imagine not having water. I mean, I can't. I literally cannot imagine a world where I don't have water, a world where I can't just turn on a faucet and it just pours out into my cup. All of these things happened in my life. I decided I need to help people, and that's kind of how it happened. And looking back at all the roadblocks I faced, losing a girl I dated for 7 years, thought I would marry, my professors saying I couldn't do it, my advisors saying to switch, my grades being some of literally the worst in my entire class was me, and just all these signs that said don't do it, and I kept pushing. And I feel like to me that was just a lesson. It was a way to say you can do anything if you want it bad enough. And that's one of the reasons why I'm crazy enough to do YouTube for almost 3 years and post over 1,000 videos, because I know one day I will be able to do this. So guys, if you wonder what my story is, why I make videos, what my goals are, kind of where it's at for me, this is where I want to go with my life. I want to be able to help people in so many ways, through water to start with, and then hopefully expanding. So hopefully you guys kind of have that same feeling, at least partly inside of you. And so hopefully once we get bigger, we'll do charity live streams, and I want to donate millions to these people and these foundations. I want to go there, I want to help, and I want to spread love, really. And that's really kind of where that saying comes from. I want to spread love across the world. So guys, I hope you have an amazing Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday season, whatever it is you have. Hope you have great times with your families, your friends, refreshed, and get ready to go for 2019. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully this channel explodes. I am ready to go. See you guys tomorrow. Spread the love. Peace.